Okay. Yeah, that'll work. I was looking at my cell phone camera. Just want to make sure it's not too high, not too low. Let's see. Get that a little bit lower. All right, I think that's better. It's got to be, it can't be wrong. So, good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. We got Carolyn's in the house, Janet's here, JJ, Bob Farron, The Garden Life, Mike Starr. So, here's Mimi's here, Dale from Ohio, Carol Prince. Good to see everybody and welcome. Oh, it is Friday. It is Friday. So, Mark's been going bananas down there, working on his stuff down there, which is good. That's a good thing. Trying to get things squared away. He got his other post in since the video, and he's dug down. So that was the last post that he had to replace. He has one post that he's got to take out. It's not going to be that big of a deal, but he's working on all that. So, but yeah. So anyway, before we jump in, I'm out of shape. Mark said it's funny. It's good for you, Bill's character. You're a young man. So before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. I would ask you to please to be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue shields are going to boot you out here because we are not going to tolerate it. If somebody should come in and make a disparaging comment or act like a jerk, I would ask you to please do not engage with them. Just let my moderators take care of them because we don't want to feed them. Okay, so just putting that out there ahead of time. Other than that, we should have a great chat. If you have something that you want to stand out to me in the chat, all cap locks, so I see it better. So I appreciate that as well, and I thank you ahead of time. All right, so what do we got? We already got 115. So I'm going to ask early right away. We're at 122 now. We got 38 thumbs up, guys. Let's get them cranking tonight, and let's see if we can get a good number on the thumbs up. And I do appreciate that. It really does make a big difference with the algorithm. So the more interaction, the better it is for the channel. So I do appreciate that. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, I thank you ahead of time for that. Okay, lots and lots to talk about today. A couple things I want to jump off with, okay? And I don't think a lot of people get this or understand this. So there's all this talk in the news, and this is what pisses me off, okay? I'm going to be honest. So all this talk in the news, how Hesseg spent $22 million on steak and lobster for the troops, okay? But yet, the $9 billion in fraud out of Minnesota, a couple of smaller fish have gone to jail, but I don't see any of these bigger fish, that knew what was going on, that let it continue to happen. I don't see any of them going to jail. So that's what pisses me off. And yet they're going to complain about Hesseg spending $22 million to give the troops steak and lobster. If you watch the video, if you just didn't see the blurb and you watch the video of the troops eating the steak and lobster, I'm going to explain to you, okay? I'm ex-military, so I kind of think I have a better insight than a lot of people would. So the boys are eating steak and lobster, and you hear them talking. And what are they saying, folks? What are they saying? We're going to war. We're going to war. What correlation would that have? Before you send the troops off to battle, all right, before you send the troops off to battle, you give them a great last meal, because some of them are never going to eat another meal that good ever again because they're going to die in battle. That's why you give the troops steak and lobster like that. There's a reason psychologically for morale, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, and it's a morale boost as well. But the reality is they're getting ready to send them into harm's way. Right now, I don't know if you saw this as well in the news, We are sending an amphibious assault group of Marines. 2,500 Marines are heading there right now. Should be over there within sight of 2 weeks. Now, that's interesting how that correlates with them saying, right, we will be opening the Strait of Hormuz within 2 weeks. What's going to happen within 2 weeks? I'm going to explain this a little bit to you, okay? And I'm not thinking that you're ignorant and you don't know, but in case you didn't kind of put two and two together, yeah, it's a long-standing custom for last meals. Absolutely, absolutely. But I don't think JJ, a lot of people knew that. Okay, I don't think, and that's why I wanted to make sure that they understood that. That's why you do it. Um, so they're saying 2 weeks. So what happens in the period? Why are we waiting 2 weeks to open up the Strait of Hormuz? First of all, we'll have 2,500 more amphibious Marines in the region to do what? To go on the ground. We will, I'm telling you right now, folks, it's my prediction. Not saying I have insider information, but I'm giving you my prediction. We will put boots on the ground near the Strait of Hormuz to get that opened up. That almost guaranteed. Now, in the meantime, what will we do in the meantime? We will bomb the crap out of that region to make sure that they can't put mines in there, to make sure that they're not. And Congress thinks it's okay for them to have steak and lobster, but not our troops. Exactly. Screw Congress. Screw Congress. I saw a comedian had a great line, and I'll share it with you real quick. And he was talking about, so he goes, somebody asked me my opinion of illegal aliens. He goes, here's my thing, guys. He goes, here's my thing. He goes, all the criminals, all those people that have committed crimes, he goes, in Congress, in the Senate, should be arrested and taken out of there, which I thought was hysterical because if you look at the arrest records of Congress and the Senate, there's a lot of them that have pending charges. Did you just see, speaking of pending charges and stuff, did you just see that they voted not to release the records of the men and women of Congress or the Senate to be able to, so we, the American people, could see who had settlements, right? Who made settlements so that their stuff didn't get put out in public, right? This is, yeah, there's another quick question, Carol Prince. We'll talk about that too. I saw that as well, that 4 drones were stolen. I don't know if you guys saw that or not either. Carol Prince is bringing that up. What about the missing drones? There's 4 drones that were taken that they don't know where they are. So that is something that could be very dangerous. Very, very dangerous, because who's that going to be used against and why? Okay, so those are things that people need to think about as well. But going back to, so I got off track because I get on my soapbox and I'm just. But anyway, going back to the Strait of Hormuz, okay. Iran would love to see oil go to $200 a barrel. That's what they would love to see, because that put pressure on the international community to have the U.S. and Israel stop what they're doing. The United States and Israel are going to make sure that that strait stays open. So they're going to do what they need to do. It's going to be difficult to do that unless you put boots on the ground. So that's I'm not going to say I guarantee it, but I would be shocked if it didn't happen, that we didn't put those boots on the ground. Those guys will be there within inside of 2 weeks. In the meantime, we'll soften up everything in the region. And they even said, they just were saying, you ain't seen nothing yet when it comes to the bombing. And we've been bombing the crap out of them day after day after day. And you see all these reports. You see all these, oh, we're running out of missiles. No, we're not. No, we're not. Now, are they amping up production of missiles? Yes. They've like tripled the production rate, because are we using a lot? We sure are. Okay. But it's war. That's what happens in war. You're going to use a lot of armaments. You're going to use a lot of missiles, all those type of things. So yeah, it's. I thought the cells that are here have already been set loose. Lamb's light. You've seen some individual attacks If you guys saw, well, real quick again, guys, we're at 221. We got 97 thumbs up. Again, please, if you have not shot the thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I do appreciate that. So we're only like half, less than half. So again, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithm. So the more interaction, the better for the channel. So again, I do appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, I thank you ahead of time for that as well. All right, so a lot of stuff going on. So you had that attack on the mosque, not mosque, I'm sorry, at the synagogue. And it turned out that that individual with a truckload of explosives that was killed by the synagogue security. And congratulations, good job. Okay. I'm sorry. That's what I feel about that. I don't care. There's so much. And again, I don't get this, guys. I really, truly don't. Because I'm going to tell you, and I'll be honest with you. If I had $100,000, you know who I'm going to invest it with? I'm going to invest it with a Jewish company because they will make money. They always make money. So that's what I would do. I could care less. I don't care if they're Jewish. I don't care if they're Muslim. I don't care what religion you are. Money's money, business is business. But the hatred for the Jews is like insane. It's just insane. But anyway, I digress. This individual was originally from Lebanon. Apparently, 4 of his relatives were recently killed in Lebanon. So obviously, he was very angry, wanted revenge, and so he decides he's going to blow up this, synagogue, and drove his truck up in there. And the security at the synagogue killed the guy. So congratulations to them. You're seeing another attack there. The ROTC group was meeting. And so they had the kid. And here's the thing with that. Now, they just charged. I don't know if you guys saw this in the news, too, because there's like so much I was looking at today. I was like, holy crap. The guy that sold the gun to the kid that used it to kill the one ROTC cadet and wound another one. And then the ROTC guys killed him. I don't know if you saw that, too. It wasn't the police. It was the ROTC guys killed him. But he was already convicted before of supporting ISIS and that type of stuff. And I guess he had been given like 11 years in prison. The prosecutors wanted it to be 20, but they gave him 11. I think he got out early. And so there was a straw purchase, right? So some guy he was talking to, and the way they found that out was through text messages. And the guy purchased a gun, sold it to the kid, and then that kid took it and did that shooting at the college. So, he was arrested. I don't know if you saw that or not. I'm okay with that. Okay. The guy was a felon, a convicted felon. Convicted felons are not allowed to use firearms. I mean, that's the law in this country. So you're not even allowed to possess them. So, let alone use them. So again, you play games, you do stuff like that, and this is what happens. Now, obviously, the guy that sold him the gun had no idea that he was going to use it to try to do a mass attack. Had no, obviously, probably would have never sold it to the guy. Didn't know his background. But again, when you're dealing with strangers and stuff like that, you have no idea what their intentions are. Why do they want a gun? Why do they want to purchase it from you privately and not, do it through the regular channels like everybody else? There's always a reason for that. So that individual, he was, because like I said, they killed the shooter. So he was arrested, and he'll be looking at facing jail time because of that. I don't think they can charge him with murder, but they can charge him, with illegally selling, doing a straw purchase and all those type of things. Now, good news, and I don't care what anybody says. I think it's great news because it puts these lunatics in check. Down in Texas, 8 of these Antifa pieces of garbage have been convicted, right, of terrorism, right? So there was a shooting of a officer down there at a detention center, And there was this group of these Antifa that were down there to cause problems, right? All in black, thinking they're Billy Bad A. Um, Again, here's the thing, all right? And some of them were armed, right? Some of them were armed. If you're hanging out with a group of people, and if you don't know what their intentions are, you better be real careful, because these folks are now all looking at least 15 years in prison or more. Now the shooter will be doing more than 15 years because he's getting attempted murder. Okay, I think they did charge a couple of the other ones with attempted murder too, but now these folks, playing this Antifa game and being, oh, like I'm a tough guy and I can go and I can do whatever I want. That's the whole F around and find out situation. Okay. And good. I'm glad to see it happen. And it needs to happen more. Like I said, again, folks, if you want to protest to your blue in the face. There's two things that are never going to happen. I am never going to be with you. Never. Even if it's something I agree with, I will not be with you. Because if you are in the right place at the wrong time with the wrong people and you get caught up, January 6th is a great example of that. All right. Even though now they were all acquitted, right, by the president, he acquitted all of them, pardoned them all. How were their lives destroyed before that happened? Their lives were destroyed. They were locked up. They were put in jail. Losing a job, losing everything that they had for what? Because they went into the Capitol building as they were ushered in. Here you go. Here you go. You know what I mean? So, and I remember that whole thing when that whole thing happened. And I had people say to me, Ed, are you going to go down there for that? And I said, absolutely not. No way, no how. I would be nowhere near it. And they go, well, don't you agree with it? I said, I do agree with it. But I said, again, as I told you guys then, and just like these people here, these Antifa numbnuts are finding out, if you are in the wrong place at the right time with the wrong people, you can get yourself jammed up. And you are doing nobody any good. Anybody any good if you're sitting in a jail cell. You're not helping your family. You're not helping your cause. None of that. So again, you'll never see me at a protest, even if it's anything I agree with. But again, why would you go to a protest, right, where you plan on engaging with the police and be armed? Now, like I said, I'm a Second Amendment guy till the cows come home. I believe in being able to have my right to carry and all that type of stuff. But if I plan on attacking police officers, you're asking for trouble. That is absolutely asking for trouble, and that's what you're going to get. And yeah, owning a firearm comes with responsibility. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, again, the insanity of it all, it's amazing to me. It really, really is amazing to me. People just don't think. They just don't think. And again, like I said, it's like, you put yourself in a situation and things get out of hand, you got nobody to blame but yourself. Consequences for your actions is a huge thing. You know what I mean? So again, I don't like protesters. Like I said, if I agree with it or if I disagree with it, I never have, because I don't see it ever doing any good. I see it causing problems. I see there being issues, and then people want to cry when they get pepper sprayed by the police and put in handcuffs and locked up. Well, you want to play tough guy, you want to play the role, you got to be able to. There's that old saying, folks, and I don't know if you guys remember this one or not. Some of you probably will. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. I learned that a long, long time ago. Okay, I've been in jail. Okay, not going to say how long or whatever and stuff like that, but I've sat behind bars, and it's not fun. Didn't like it. Never been back. I mean, I've been arrested and processed since then, as you all know. Anybody who watches the channel knows that. And all those charges were dropped. Imagine that, right? But, I still had to go through the inconvenience of all that nonsense. But I learned really young, this ain't for me. This is not where I want to be. So, I made some decisions that I made sure that I never got, jammed up again. So, they detected a ham radio station in Iran sending out numerical signals for sleeper cells activations worldwide. Wouldn't surprise me, JJ. Wouldn't surprise me. I think you're going to see more attacks. Absolutely, I think there's going to be more attacks. They want to cause as much havoc as they possibly can because, you look at what we've done over there already. They have no Navy left, they have no Air Force left, right? Their ability to shoot these missiles and drones has been greatly degraded. They're still doing it, don't get me wrong, but not like they were the first couple of days because we've taken out so much of their, infrastructure to be able to do that. So yeah, that's you know, those things are that's just all part of it. So crazy, crazy stuff going on. Crazy world we're living in. A lot of stuff is going on. Uh, you know, uh, Again, I do believe you're going to see attacks in the country. You already have. We already have, right? At the college, at the synagogue. Those are two, and that's terrorism related. Same situation. You know, and see, the problem is, okay, when you let people into this country that do not want to assimilate. They don't want to assimilate. They don't want to become part of American society. They want us to you how many times have you heard it? I mean, I've seen a lot of videos on it. These clerics and stuff talking about, oh, the United States will be a Muslim country in time. Our goal is to breed you out. You're not having babies. We will keep having babies. They're in it for the long game, folks. They're in it. They don't want to assimilate. They want to take over. That's exactly what they want to do. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care if it takes 100 years. Their goal is to do that. So, you know, why are we catering to that? Right? Why are we catering to that? I don't get it. I really truly don't. If you don't want to live in peace, and here's the thing is they'll live in peace until they have the advantage. That's and it's happened over and over and over again. Hello, sweetheart. How are you? Are you a good girl? Say sometimes. Not quite yet. It's too early for you to go out yet, but I'll let you out in a little while. Okay? So not yet. Oh my God. If you guys saw the video that I did earlier today, I am calling her. She stops, turns around, looks at me, and then turns around and just keeps on going down the hill. She's naughty. Are you naughty? Nah. Okay, that's it. But you look at what's going on, like in the UK. There's certain parts of the UK, guys, where you don't go. I'm sure right now there's probably certain places in Minnesota that's really not safe if you are not Muslim to go to, because they're all taken over by these, people that have come over here, and they want to enact their rules and their laws on the rest of us. And it's just, yeah, the UK is a mess, and that's because they let them all in there. I laughed. I laughed when I saw this, and it was a while ago that I saw this, and they were talking. I'm trying to think of the country real quick. Oh, it's over in Europe. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going blank, but you guys, I'm going to ask you a question. You can tell me who it was. Um, when the start of World War II, oh, Poland. That's what I was. Poland. That's who the Germany invaded first, was Poland. So Poland would not let any of these immigrants from these third world countries come into Poland. And they were asking them about that. Well, why aren't you doing that? He goes, because they don't fit here. They don't belong here. We're keeping what we're doing, what our people want, which is exactly right. You look at places, guys, and again, please contradict me and tell me I'm wrong when I say this. So you let all these Muslim lunatics come in to Sweden, right? From these third world countries that are not educated, that do not have the same values. And rapes have gone up exponentially in those countries. Sweden is a prime example of it, okay? They're raping these girls left, right, and center. And it's no big deal to them. They're like, yeah, we can do that because they're infidels or whatever, that, you know what I mean? That's the mindset, which is terrifying if you think about it. It's terrifying. So again, it's yeah, they didn't play the immigration. Nope, they secured their borders. And there was another country over there did the same thing, besides Poland. I can't remember which one that was. But yeah, marrying your first cousins. When you do that, there's an issue. You're dumbing down society, and that's what they do. Their intelligence level is not as high. Now, there's some of them that are very intelligent, don't get me wrong. But when you keep marrying first cousins, now you're going to have Hungary was the other one. Okay, thank you. Now you're going to have, problems with the children. It happens. So, Ed, did you guys purchase that piece of land next to your homestead in New York? The one, yes, yeah. My sister, and her fiance closed on that property. Finally, there was a lot of stuff that they had to do, but they were supposed to close in December, and they did not close until mid-February, I think. But yes, they bought the property right next to Heather. So, yep, to the homestead in New York. So that was awesome. I was so happy that they got that because now it's family. You know what I mean? And so that's great. So Heather's gonna know who's right next door. So I think the game plan is eventually for Becky to take her building and put it over on that other property so that they have it over there. But they're going to have a lot of prep work to do before they could ever get to that point. I mean, we're talking, if you guys remember the amount of stone and gravel that I had brought into that property, the 3 acres there in New York, it was astronomical. And then putting in enough gravel where we had the camper, where eventually the greenhouse went. And then if you guys also remember when they were doing the wood chipping, I had God, how many loads of wood chips did they drop off? I'll bet you we had 12 loads at least. And then I was raking it out because it would make a base, and because it was really, the water would come down the hill in the spring and stuff like that. And even now in the very front of the property, Heather was like, oh yeah, it's like a freaking pond right now, Dad, with everything melting and the rain and everything else. But that was the one spot because it comes down and it goes across, and then it goes across a driveway and continues on down. But yeah, we built that up a lot. So if they plan on going over and putting their building on that other side, they're really going to have to beef that up ahead of time. So yeah, a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but good for them. I'm glad they got it now, so they can, do whatever they want. I mean, if they ever wanted to leave their building right where it's at, and work on the other property as they feel like it. So we'll see how that all goes. But yeah, so that's their game plan with that one. Guys, we got 290 in the chat. We got 168 thumbs up. So again, really quickly, I'm going to ask you to please shoot a thumbs up to show support for the channel. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications. And again, I'm asking for a thumbs up because it really helps with the interaction for the channel. So the more interaction, the higher it pushes us up in the rankings. And so I appreciate it for that reason as well. So thank you ahead of time. So let's shoot for a goal. Let's go 300 again, just for fun. Why not? So we're 119 away right now. So we got like 30 minutes. So if you have not shot that, thumbs up. Let's keep them coming, please, and see if we can hit 300 thumbs up, because why not, right? So, all right. So again, I think it's a matter of time, not a matter of if we're putting boots on the ground in the region. And we'll do it in the Strait of Hormuz because we want to keep the oil flowing, which will bring the price of barrel per barrel down. Right now, I think today it closed at almost $100 a barrel, which is, ridiculously too high. And it's all scare tactics, folks. If they can keep us in a perpetual state of fear, right? And being anxious and, oh my God, we need the government to save us, right? That's what they want to do. They want to keep you afraid. Again, how do you take control? How do you not be afraid, right? I mean, it's just like with a lot of these. I was watching this one interviewer, and I'm going to give you a great example of this, okay? And she was at like a gay pride event type of thing, and she was a lesbian. The girl that was doing the interviewing was a lesbian, but she's also a conservative, right? And she was asking, the people. She was saying, well, what rights has the president taken away since he's been in office? Because they're like, oh, he's going to take away our rights and he wants to lock us up into camps. And there's no rights that were that had been taken away. None. There's no rights being taken away. Now, the fact that they don't want, men in women's sports, I don't have a problem with that. I don't think biological women should be forced to share a locker room. If you have a separate locker room for somebody who's transgendered, either be it male to female, female to male, fine. Have a different locker room where they can go. That would be fine. That's a reasonable compromise. But I don't think that somebody that still has their parts, right? I don't care what they identify as. If it's going to make somebody else feel uncomfortable, why would you want to have them be subjected to that? I wouldn't want, if my daughter was uncomfortable with something like that, I don't want her to be subjected to something that makes her feel uncomfortable like that, where she can't even feel safe in a woman's locker room. So, but JJ said Ed, Trump is supposedly releasing some 187 million barrels of oil to help bring down gas prices. Well, that's good. If that's the case, that'd be awesome. I know in Europe they're talking about the strategic reserve over there, okay, that they're going to be releasing 400 million barrels. So, it again, the last I checked, we are oil independent in the United States. Why is the gas prices here going through the roof? Now, I haven't been out in a few days, so I don't know what they are locally right now. I'll be out probably Monday, Tuesday. So I'll know better then, unless we have to make a run to Lowe's this weekend or something, which that wouldn't be surprised, right? But they say the same thing about Russia's so-called anti-gay laws. A lot of it, guys, to me, it's like there are weirdos out there, okay? There are weirdos out there that will take advantage of that, saying, "Well, I'm a woman, so I can go in there." And they're clearly not, okay? If somebody's got a heavier beard than me and you're saying you're a woman, no, you're not going in the woman's locker room or in the woman's toilet when my daughter's going. Now, I will tell you this, true transgendered people, right? True people that are transgendered, a lot of them, you'll never know. You won't know, okay? It's not like when they're walking into the bathroom to use the bathroom, because that's what they're using it for, is to go to the toilet. You would never know because they pass. That's what they want. They want to pass. So they don't want that negative attention, and they don't want to. But it's the ones that got the hairy legs and the 5 o'clock shadow that throws a little makeup on in a dress and says, "Well, I'm a woman, so I'm going in the bathroom." There's a big difference there. Okay, big difference. And I'm going to tell you what, if you may like it or not like it, but true transgender people have been using the women's bathrooms for a long time, and you never knew what was happening because there was no issue. There wasn't an issue, okay? It's not like they're walking in there, whipping it out, peeing in a sink, okay? They're going into a stall, they're sitting down, they're doing their business. So, I mean, like I said, again, to each their own, do what you got to do, but, stop pushing it in my face or anybody else's face all the time. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. That's just my take. So anyway, like I said, I could care less what anybody does to consenting adults. What you do behind closed doors is your own business. None of mine, because it don't affect me. So I don't care. But like I said, I've known a ton of gay and lesbian people. I never had an issue with them. Did I get hit on? I sure did. A lot. And you know what I said? Not my jam, baby. Thank you very much. I appreciate the offer, but not interested. And guess what? 9 out of 10 of them will respect that. You will get one once in a while that'll get a little pushy, and then you got to put them in their dang place. I was going to say something else, but it came out dang, which is good. You got to put them in their place. But the reality is, most people, what it's like a regular. If I hit on a lady, right? If I go up to a lady and I hit on her, and she rejects me, I go, all right, have a nice day, and off I go. Because guess what? Out of the next 6 that I ask, maybe somebody will say yes. Okay. I don't ever take offense. I'm not mad at somebody who rejected me. Everybody's flavor is different. Everybody likes something different. So again, my ex-wife used to always say, because she had short hair, and so people used to think she was a lesbian all the time. And she always used to say to me, and I used to laugh at this because I thought it was great. She goes, "It's always nice to be invited to the party. It doesn't mean you have to go." And that's what it is. I always just took it as a compliment. You think I'm attractive enough that you want to be interested in me? Great. Thank you very much. But no, not my bag. But anyway, you know, going back to, you know, we're doing a huge bombardment campaign, as we all know right now, over in the Middle East, with Iran and stuff like that. You know, we're being fed. Okay. And I think that a conservative influencer you're talking about goes to those events is Ariella Scalera. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, you're talking about the one. Yes. I think, yes. That does the interviews. Yeah. I think that's who it is. I didn't know what her name was. I just saw a couple things with her interviewing some people, and they can't ever name anything that their rights are being taken away because they're not. Um, but thank you. I wasn't sure what her name was. Yep. So at first I was like, "What?" And then I got what you were saying. Um, but again, going back to what we're talking about with all the stuff that's going on over there right now, we're being fed, right? Iran was a threat. Iran was getting close to, getting a nuclear bomb. Now, see, here's the problem. Okay, and please explain to me if I'm wrong when I say this. We went in, did that other operation, dropped those mother of all bombs, bunker buster bombs on 3 different nuclear sites. And then the president did say, we have destroyed their nuclear capability, right? We've destroyed it. There's no way they can get a nuclear bomb now. We've destroyed it, right? Am I right when I say that, right? I know I am because I saw it just like most of you saw the same thing. But then there were reports that we really didn't get and do a good a job as they thought we did. Now, I heard that as well. But the president still said, yes, we got them. They're not going to ever be able to, at this point, do a nuclear bomb. Now, were they rebuilding? Of course they were, okay? They were rebuilding, doing whatever they needed to do. So, was it Iran's goal to get a nuclear weapon? Absolutely yes. I mean, that they're, because if it wasn't their intention to get a nuclear weapon, they would have signed a treaty 20 years ago saying, no, we have no nuclear expectations. We don't want the nuclear bomb. So I get to a degree why we've done what we've done. Okay. I do. I understand it to a degree. But we all have to understand we're being fed a story, right? Let me take you back. Let's go with Iraq. President Bush, weapons of mass destruction. Iraq has weapons of mass destruction. We have to go in and get them out and eradicate them and get them out of there and, to keep people safe, right? Okay. Did they ever find weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, folks? Yes or no? In the comments, give me your answers. Did they ever find weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? So in the comments, yes or no, did they find them? I'll give you guys just a moment to get your answers on here. So everybody so far is right on the money with no, they did not. You know why? Because they did not exist. They did not exist to be found. There was no weapons of mass destruction. All right. That was what we were fed, right? To go in there to get on the rah, rah, rah thing. Oh, well, and there was the thing with Kuwait where Iraq went and invaded Kuwait and did all that. We got that. We understand that. And so we had the coalition go in to stop them, and we extracted them from Kuwait, right? So, but that was the first time with the first Bush. Um, and then, 10 years later, we go back in under George, and do stop. Not yet. No, you're not going out yet. So again, under the second Bush, we went back in and they fed us the whole, oh, they got, weapons of mass destruction and we have to go in and we have to get rid of them. Stop. In just a minute, relax. I don't want to hear it. So anyway, stop. No. Anyway, so again, we're being fed a story this time of why we have to go in and we have to do what we have to do, with Iran. They're sponsoring terrorism, which Iran has said, no, we're not. Is Iran supporting Hezbollah, the Houthis, the in the Gaza Strip? Are they supporting all that? I don't know. Okay. I don't have the answers. I don't have that information. We're being told that yes, they did. So it gives us, yeah, that's the whole reason behind 9/11. Yeah, exactly, JJ. That's another video that I can't do on YouTube. It's another video I cannot do on YouTube. Guys, we got 323 in the chat. We're at 230 on the thumbs up. So we need 70 more thumbs up, please, to get to 300. So let's see if we can get there, please. And I do appreciate it again. If you shoot that thumbs up, it really helps again with the algorithms. The more interaction on the channel, the better. And again, I do appreciate that ahead of time. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, I thank you ahead of time. Let's see if we can get up over 300 again. That would be very cool. Just because it's a nice round number, and that would be neat if we can get there. So, but now we just lost in Iraq a refueling vessel, airplane crashed. 6 service members were killed in that. Okay, very sad. I hate seeing that. I hate seeing I'll tell you, I hate seeing our service members put in harm's way. Oh, we're going to talk about something else too, really quickly. Okay, and again, fear tactics. Let's scare the crap out of everybody. Okay, but I did want to give my condolences to the families that lost loved ones, because that's never easy, regardless of whatever the thing is. So there's all this talk, is there going to be a draft because of this war, right? And so Trump, and I love how he does stuff. He's always very evasive with some things. He goes, well, nothing is off the table. Folks, they don't need to have a draft. We are not in a world war. We're not taking on China and Russia and, the evil axis, whatever, totally you want to put on them, right? We're not in that kind of a conflict. This is a small nation. We have the people that have been going in the military since President Trump took over has jumped up. The recruitment numbers are being met, unlike when it was under Biden, right? So we're meeting our recruitment numbers. So I don't see, unless like something catastrophic happens and it ends up being some kind of a world war type of situation, then I would see that, yes, there probably would be a draft. But right now, no. So again, keep people scared, keep them under control. That's what it's all about, right? At this point in time. Again, don't feed into that type of stuff. Just don't. Um, okay, so we're getting ready to do egg count. I want to give you an idea of where we were at yesterday so it can kind of help you with your guesses today. So, yesterday, we had 11 eggs yesterday, which is the high of the year so far. I had gotten 10 twice before yesterday, but yesterday I ended up with 11 eggs yesterday. So we're going to go ahead and do egg count real quick right now. Um, so, how many eggs today? Yes or no for Miss Betty White? And how many of the Easter eggers laid today? So I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses in, and we will go from there. So I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses in. And in the meantime, folks, let's keep those thumbs up coming, please. We're at 248. We need 52 more to hit that 300 mark. Just see if we can get it just for fun. We got more than enough people in here that if everybody that has not shot a thumbs up yet did, will easily hit 300 with no problem. So I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses in, and I will let you know. And I'll tell you in just a second. I'm going to get a drink here. All right. If you had the same guess as Pappy Two Bears, I'm thinking that's his first win. 9 eggs today. Yes for Miss Betty White. And all 3 of the Easter eggers laid today. So congratulations to Pappy Two Bears. You've won absolutely nothing, but you are happy about it. So congratulations. But yeah, I was happy. I'm like, awesome. And like I said, getting 11 yesterday was pretty cool as well. So, Lamb's Light, I got an off the wall question, Ed. Go ahead, Lamb's Light. Lay it on me. The biggest thing right now, folks, and I know I have a tendency to repeat myself a lot when I say these things. We're going to have zero control over what happens with this situation in the Middle East. None. Zero. Okay. They're not asking us our opinion. They don't care what our opinion is. So, again, control what you can control. That's the important thing. Get yourselves stocked up. Get yourselves ready for whatever may be happening. You know, get food put up. Make sure you have water purification. Plenty of supplies. Your gas topped off. All those type of thing. And then, propane, whatever you need to have, I would highly recommend making sure you have it in abundance now. That would be my advice. Have it in abundance now. So we're at 259. We need 41 more thumbs up. Yeah, any kind of medical procedures, your dental work, if you're having any issues, any minor surgeries that you need to do, highly, highly recommend getting those things taken care of. Don't put those things off, especially your teeth, because dealing with a tooth issue in an SHT event will not be fun. Will not be fun. So, but, I'm going to talk about something here, guys, and I think this is really, really, really important. And I know, you're going to go, well, because you have a group, Prepper Nurse One, that's why you're saying it. In a true SHTF situation, okay, community. You need community, right? That's what a group is. A group is a group of strangers who become friends and family. You all have the same agenda, the same like-minded goals. You might not all think the same, but you have like-minded goals. You're going to need people that you can count on, that you can rely on. The important thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is you cannot stay up 24 hours a day. You cannot do all the things that you need to do to prepare to keep your family safe and do all those things by yourself. If you get sick or you get hurt, okay, who picks up the slack? When you're Joe Solo, nobody's there to pick up that slack. So having a group, I think, is paramount to surviving long term in a post event, in a true post event, okay? Because You have people that are going to have your back. You already have decided you're working together. You're investing together. That's hugely, hugely important. And I think that that's one thing that I think a lot of people don't think about. And you'll have people say, well, I'm going to be on my own and I don't want to be with other people and stuff like that. Your chances of making it without other like minded people is very, very small. Very, very small. So, you know, if you have people that are having your back, that you can get 6 hours of sleep a night, uninterrupted sleep, or day, whatever you're sleeping, right? If you can get that uninterrupted, you're going to be fresher. You're going to be better. If you if you should get hurt, you're going to be able to rest and recover because other people will be able to be there to pick up the slack. That's important. It's hugely important. You have to work together. And my thing, and I've talked about this over and over and over. Oh, Lamb's Light. What did I miss? Oh, premonition. Uh, jetliner crashes into my valley, and I saw 2 jetliners crash in my town. Well, that would not be good. Uh, those are things to pay attention to. Lamb's Light. Those are absolutely things to pay attention to. Yeah, if somebody could interfere, with the airplanes, hack them, and crash them, that is absolutely something that could happen. And that would be catastrophic for a lot of people because if you think about how many flights there are in a day, um, that's a lot. So we're at 268, guys. We need 32 more thumbs up. We got about 9 minutes to go. So again, real quickly, let's keep them thumbs up coming. Let's see if we can hit that 300. But again, safety in numbers. I've talked about that a lot. Having like-minded people. I would rather, like I've done here, put a group of people together. And again, the best part of doing it now, right? Some people don't work out, right? Some people get in, they're gung-ho, they're ready, they want to be part of something. And then you're going to find, I'm just looking at Bonnie, I'm like, what is she doing? You're going to find some people are not going to be a good fit. So it's better to figure that out now than it's a post event, a slap hap group of people get put together, and now you got people that you cannot stand. You can't stand them. They're nothing but a pain in the behind, but you can't get rid of them because it's a post event and you need the bodies. I would rather be in a position where I have my group of people. I've been working with them for an extended period of time. We have a common goal. We have common interest. We're all on that same page. And when that time comes, we are going to have each other's back. Now, and I've said this before as well, okay? And I think this is important as well. Are we locked in and not taking anybody else in when the time comes? That would be stupid to not be open to bringing in other people. But again, it's going to be on a case per case basis. If I have somebody come down the driveway, waving the white flag and wants to parlay and says, hey, listen, I'm a doctor. Okay. Now you're going to get BS artists as well. Okay. Let's not forget that. You're going to get BS artists, but they will come to light pretty quickly. You'll figure that out pretty quickly. But carpenter, plumber, electrician, anybody that is bringing a skill set, an engineer, somebody that's can solve problems, those type of things. You got to have those type of people. You also need to have people that are willing to get in there and get their hands dirty, and work. So, there's a lot to it, but you're going to have to take that. You can't take in everybody. You just can't. That's a reality that I think a lot of people really don't grasp, to be honest with you, but you better grasp it. Guys, we're at 281, so we need 19 more thumbs up, guys. So let's keep that rocking, if you would, please, and let's hit that 300 goal. Very close so far. But when the end comes and the food runs out and the neighbor's pets have been eaten, at that point, some people will resort to cannibalism. You're going to see that, Joseph. Yeah, you're going to see that. I absolutely believe that that will happen. But again, or they're going to try to take from other people that have it. That'll happen as well. And that's again, you got to be ready to defend what you have. You got to be ready to do what's necessary to protect the people in your group. And there's a lot to that. Okay. Again, seeds are a huge thing. And I don't think enough people talk about seeds because, again, I've said this so many times. I feel like a broken record with certain things. The people that say, well, I'm going to go in the woods and I'll hunt and I'll fish and I'll be fine. The woods, and again, go back to the Great Depression, guys. In the Great Depression, the woods were hunted almost dry. It took over 30 years for the wild game to recover once the economy returned around and got better again. And that's why we have regulations now where you can't just indiscriminately go out and hunt whenever you feel like it. They're limiting it because of the simple fact that if you over hunt something, it's going to go extinct. I mean, that's just the way it goes. So there won't be game in the woods. There won't be fish in the creeks and the ponds and in the lakes and stuff like that because you and 10,000 other people are going to put that fishing pole in that lake. How long you think it's going to still have fish in it at that pace if people are pulling fish out nonstop? It's not going to be long. It's not going to be long. Okay. So those are things you got to think about. You really got to plan for, and we're going to be growers and gatherers, and that's where seeds are so important. Um, I told you I have 250 pounds of wheat berries. A lot of that wheat's going to get planted because it's going to make more wheat. You know what I mean? And that's going to be one of the crops that we're going to need not only to feed ourselves, but to feed our livestock, right? So, I mean, there's a lot to it when it comes down to it, the big picture when you're looking at stuff. But again, the more people that you have that are all on the same page now, and you're working together and you have a plan and you know what you want to do, it's going to be better in the long run. Okay. In the long run. So that's just something, yeah, big dummies with no hunting experience for killing people by accident. They do it now, Cat. They do it now. Every year you hear about somebody getting shot accidentally. So we're at 298, guys. We need 2 more thumbs up to hit the goal of 300, and we got just a couple of minutes left. So that's obviously very easy to do. So again, if you have not shot that up there yet, please do so. And again, I thank you. So got to hit the goal. Got to hit the goal. But again, most people are going to be, they're lazy. They don't want to work for nothing. They think everything should be handed to them. And, that's not going to be the case. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to come together. You're going to have to be a good teammate, and people, for the most part, if you can't put that kind of people together and do it now, I would highly recommend you do it because, again, 3 things, guys, and I've talked about this again. I'm going to repeat it because I think it's that important. 3 things are going to happen when SHTF happens, okay? Either you're already part of a group, right? And you're going to go to your bug out location and you're going to work together, right? And try to survive. No guarantee that you're going to. Yeah, I see 304 now. Yep, JJ, I see 304 on the thumbs up. So thank you, guys. I appreciate that. So that's number 1. You're going to already be part of a group and you're going to work together and try to survive the best way that you can. And hopefully you're prepared enough that you will. Number 2, you will end up being part of a group because you will do it for survival. But it might not be the kind of group that you want to be involved with, right? But you're going to have to because you're going to do it to survive. That's a fact. Or the third option, you're going to be dead. Period. That's it. Those are the 3 options in an SHTF situation, folks. That's it. That's how it's going to be. What about the ones addicted to their phone? They won't be addicted to their phone very long, will they, Lamb's Light? And there's the other thing that I think people don't talk enough about, and I'll talk about it briefly. The culture shock. First of all our people under like 30 and under have never not been in a society without computers, without phones, and that stuff. That's what they've grown up with. So they're not used to not having those type of things. So, first of all, the culture shock of holy crap, now that's gone, and you don't have instant access to everything. That's going to be a hard adjustment. Now, throw in the fact that you're going to lose loved ones and people that you care about. And now you got to deal with death, seeing dead bodies laying all over the place, the smell of the decaying and dying. And, that is going to be psychologically for some people too much to be able to handle. You will see people will quit because of those reasons. So, again, control what you can control now. If you're not in a group, I would highly recommend that you get in a group. Okay. Find a group of like minded people that you can work with and you can come together with, and it's going to be better for you in the long run. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you with my favorite saying, STD. So if you set realistic goals that you can reach, right? And then you follow my mantra, STD, step, thing, and day, one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. You can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. Again, realistic expectations, make that goal, then set about to making it happen. And when people tell you, oh, you can't do that, it's never going to happen, once you do it and it's done, they have to shut up. They can't say nothing because you did it, right? Just like my chicken run. Is it pretty? No. But did it collapse? Like I got told, oh, that's going to, at first heavy snow, that's going to collapse. Never did, right? So, and we had a lot of heavy snow this year. So, we were good. But again, it ain't pretty, but it's functional and it works and it keeps my chickens safe. And that's what it's about. So, anyway, guys, I appreciate it. I see we're at 313 on the thumbs up. So, thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it. Please keep prepping. Please keep getting ready. All right. Have a great night, and I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.